14, a conditioned response to a stimulus that is similar to the conditioned stimulus but not exactly the same is called neutral stimulus, stimulus generalization, unconditioned stimulus, or spontaneous recovery. Which one do you think is the best choice for number 14? Ang pagsagot parang love life. Pag nagmamadali, mapupunta ka talaga sa maling tao. Aba, may paghuhugot. Hindi ko lang nakikita kung sino ito, no? Facebook user lamang yung lumalabas. Ma'am Mary Grace E. National, how to become a member of Team Piaget. Mag-send po kayo ng message later sa ating pong Facebook page. Sa pinaka-page po natin. 14. May B, may A, may C. Medyo marami na namang nalito sa ating number 14. 14. Okay, number 14. Letter A, letter B, letter C. Ano kaya yung tama, no? Number 14, balikan natin. A conditioned response to a stimulus that is similar to the conditioned stimulus. Yung response mo ay parehas dahil similar yung inyong stimulus. Remember your stimulus response. Now, this is under classical conditioning, under Pavlov. Now, remember your SR, yung stimulus and response mo. When you say stimulus, this is anything that would allow you to react. No? So anything that allows something to react or some person to react, that will be called a stimulus. And of course, your reaction is called your response. Now, sabi dito, a conditioned response to a stimulus that is similar to the conditioned stimulus but not exactly the same is called, if you see a stimulus that is similar but not exactly the same, tapos yung response mo ay parehas, this is called what? Kunwari, yung boyfriend mo ay long hair. Okay? So, long hair itong yung boyfriend or yung ex mo, for example. And of course, that's the stimulus, no? Yung long hair. Gusto mo kasi long hair yung lalaki, no? So, that's the stimulus. And yung response mo would be, syempre, kinikilig ka, no? Naiihi ka. Ano nga yan, nangingisay ka, no, pag nakikita mo siya. Now, that's your boyfriend or that might be your ex. Now, ngayon, meron ka nakitang katrabaho, bagong katrabaho, no, kakastart lamang ni sir, first day ni sir. Eh ngayon, long hair din itong si sir, no? And so, you see a stimulus which is not exactly the same but is very similar. So, ngayon yung reaction mo, yung response mo ay parehas din, nangisay ka din, naihi ka din, okay, kinilig ka din, naglaway ka. And so what do you call this? Is this neutral stimulus? Neutral, no? Pag sinabi mong neutral, walang effect. Wapakel, swa effect. Letter B, stimulus generalization. Na-generalize mo yung reaction mo to a certain type of stimulus. So whenever you see a person with long hair, nangingisay ka. Unconditioned stimulus, this is a stimulus that is natural. Pag sinabi mong unconditioned stimulus, yung sa example ni Pavlov, yung meat is an unconditioned stimulus. Natural lamang na maglalawa yung aso pag meron siya nakitang meat or food. Or is it spontaneous recovery? Pag sinabi mo namang spontaneous recovery, nakalimutan mo na yung reaction na to, pero naibalik, naging extinct na yung reaction, pero naibalik siya, no? Because of a certain form of stimulus. Okay? But what do you think is the correct answer for number 14? Ano ang ating choice for number 14? It would be letter B. Tama po yung letter B, stimulus generalization. Pare-parehas yung reaction mo sa stimulus, which is not exactly the same, but it is similar. Okay, so stimulus generalization. You remember Pavlov's generalization, o yung term na generalization kay Pavlov, sa kahit anong uri ng aso ay natatakot ka pag meron kang phobia, that's generalization. Okay, so kahit na hindi sila parehas, hindi exactly the same, pag may similarities, ay pareho yung response mo. Sino ito? Sa ihi na lang now kinikilig, nakaka-UTI pa. Okay, so letter B po ang ating choice dito, stimulus generalization. Okay? Stimulus generalization. All right, we move on to number 15. Your son doesn't like to clean his room. Every time you remind him to put away his things and make his bed, he complains until he gives in and tidies the room to stop you from whining. This is an example of blank for your son. Is it letter A, positive reinforcement, letter B, negative reinforcement, letter C, negative punishment, or letter D, positive punishment? Which one do you think is the choice, the correct choice that we are looking for in number 15? Okay. Sino si Sean Murphy? The Good Doctor? Hindi ako nakanood niyan. Nakakalito. Sabi ni Ma'am Rin Kashifu, Mia Kakishi P. Reyes. Laging ligwak. Okay lang po yan. Nalito pero nakachamba. Sana all nakakachamba. Nangingisay po ba talaga? Again, sa mga nagtatanong, mga na-late, no, we are going to download the video and then we will try to upload it in your groups. Single ka ba? Kapit lang, buhay ang Diyos. Sir JJ Aringo. Oh, The Good Doctor. Nasa Netflix daw, sabi ni Sir Nap. Ma'am Kay Kabuyok, Ma'am Mek, wala pa po ba uploaded sa Math Major? Nagsabi si Sir Kim na mag-upload po siya very, very soon. So, hintayin nyo lamang po. Okay. Number 15. Your son doesn't like to clean his room. Every time you remind him to put away his things and make his bed, he complains until he gives in and tidies the room to stop you from whining. Okay, this is an example of blank for your son. Is it letter A, positive reinforcement, letter B, negative reinforcement, letter C, negative punishment, or letter D, positive punishment? The correct choice here is letter B. This is negative reinforcement. Let's take a look at our explanation. Okay, so meron tayong two types of reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is positive behavior followed by positive consequences. So some examples of your positive reinforcement would be praises, my stars, my stickers, my candies, my rewards. Okay, so positive reinforcement yan. When you say negative reinforcement, such as our answer here, positive behavior followed by removal of negative consequences. And so the manager stops nagging the employee. Ganito yung naging situation natin kanina. Dahil nag-clean na siya ng room niya, nawala yung negative consequences. Yung whining ng nanay, no, talak ng talak yung nanay. Alam natin to, alam natin to, napagdaanan natin itong lahat, no? Yung umaga kinakatok ka na sa kwarto mo, hi! Linis ka na, no? Napagdaanan ko to, Diyos mio, no? Yung papatong ka, tapos yung maglilinis ka ng bintana, ng jealousy, no? So negative reinforcement, nawawala yung negative consequence dahil gumawa ka na mabuti. Okay, so positive behavior followed by removal of negative consequences. Punishment naman is when your negative behavior is followed by negative consequences. Manager demotes the employee. And so, pag hindi ka naglinis ng bahay, kukunin ng nanay mo yung cellphone mo or kukunin ng nanay mo yung iPad mo, whatever, kakaltasan ka ng allowance. No? Extinction naman when negative behavior followed by removal of positive consequences. Manager ignores the behavior. Okay? So, yung negative behavior niya, inignore na ng kanyang manager. Okay? So, followed by removal of positive consequences. Kahit na dahil hindi mo ginawa yung isang bagay, no, deadma ka na sa iyong manager. Okay? So, that's the differences between your positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, and extinction. Okay? And so, the correct choice here would be positive, your negative reinforcement. So, letter B po ang ating tamang choice for number 15. We move on with number 16. Awit, pero move on. Stella is a recovering addict and knows that she can't spend time with certain people or go certain places anymore because they make they make her want to use again. What self-regulation tactic is Stella using? Is it letter A, environmental structuring, letter B, self-consecrating, letter C, standard setting, or letter D, self-evaluating? Which one do you think is the correct choice for 16? Shout out kay Beverly Rubio na nagpa-connect sa akin, mabait. Wow, sana all may mabait no na friend nagpa-connect. Ayun, si Ma'am Pearl Joy Entana, binuhusan ng tubig pag di gigising. Daming mali, pero fighting lang, sabi ni Ma'am Bebet Calbog. Okay lang po yan, di pa naman pulet. No? Okay lang magmali tayo dito. Basta sa let, tama na yung sagot. Hati daw po kayo sa bill. Ma'am Jeneline, hahatiin nyo daw po yung bill sa internet. Okay, 16. Ayon, hindi daw familiar. Karamihan yata sa inyo ay hindi familiar sa terms na ginamit dito sa number 16. So para hindi tayo ma-shock sa paparating na let, no? Hindi tayo, saan galing to? Saan galing yung tanong na to? Ano yung mga terms na to? Saan to kinuha ng let? Kaya tayo nagpe-prepare ng ganito, yung mga hindi familiar na terms ay sinasama natin dahil para naman sa paparating na let ninyo ay hindi na po kayo ma-shock. Meron po bang slides ito, ma'am? Pwedeng i-print out? Yes po, ipopost po natin, Ma'am Nini, later ang inyong slides or inyong PDF. Okay, 16. What is the correct choice? 16. Stella is a recovering addict and knows that she can't spend time with certain people or go certain places anymore because they make her want to use again. So, umiiwas siya, no? So, certain people, certain friends, for example, or certain places dahil baka hindi niya maiwasan, gumamit siya ulit. What self-regulation tactic is Stella using? The correct choice here is letter A. This is environmental structuring. Okay, let's take a look at your slides para mas maging malinaw yung mga differences nila. This is under your SRT or self-regulation theory. This is a system of conscious personal management that helps us control what we think, say, or do. So consciously, kinokontrol na ni Stella yung kanyang magiging, yung kanyang sasabihin, yung kanyang gagawin, yung kanyang thinking. No? So this is self-regulation theory. Nire-regulate niya, kinokontrol niya yung sarili niya. Now, under this theory, there are 4 components. Meron tayong standards, may motivation, may monitoring, and of course, pinaka-importante, may willpower. So standard, what is the level or quality of the desirable behavior that you want to achieve? Ano yung standard? So maaring si Stella, gusto niya na never na talaga siyang gagamit. No? She wants to be clean for the rest of her life. Motivation, enthusiasm to meet the standards. Ano yung nagmo-motivate kay Stella? Po pwedeng meron siyang anak, meron siyang asawa, meron siyang boyfriend, no? So motivated siya na stop yung pagiging addict. Monitoring thoughts or actions that precede breaking a standard, accountability tactics. Okay? So anong ginagawa ni Stella para hindi siya magkasala? Okay, and of course, number 4, willpower, internal strength to control urges that break standards. Of course, that's your will, that's your internal drive, no, parang ma-control mo na hindi ka makapag-break ng standard, no, makapag-break ng promise mo sa sarili mo, for example. Now, these are the different strategies. Yung standard setting, you set your standard, you set your goal in mind, you have a goal in mind, and you have created a plan to achieve it. Okay, so example natin dito, si Sally would want to become a lawyer. That's her standard. And so she studies in law school. She wakes up early in the morning to go to school, and she makes sure that she does her best whenever she has a test, okay? Because her goal, her standard is that she can pass the bar and she can make or she can set up her own law firm. Okay, so standard setting. Ano ba yung sinet mong goal? Ano ba yung gusto mong standards na marating, no, sa life? That's standard setting. Self-consecrating, there is a reward. She sets a reward for herself if she achieves her goal, or a punishment if she does not. So sabi ni Sally, kapag ka nakakuha nakakuha ako ng A. For example, kayo po pwede niyong gawin to. Kapag ka nakapasa ako ng let, ay bibili ako ng bagong cellphone. Okay? Or kapag ka pumasa ako ng let, for example, ay maghahanap ako ng bagong boyfriend. Okay? So that's self-consequating. You are setting a reward for yourself. Okay? So nagsiset ka ng reward para sa sarili mo, no? Yung self-treatment, self-love na tinatawag, self-care, no? Or po pwedeng sabihin mo, pag pumasa ako sa let, ay magpapamasahe ako. Sana ay wala ng pandemic, no? Or po pwede din namang punishment if she does not. So sabi ni Sally dito, pag A yung nakuha ko, magsha-shopping ako. Pag B naman, hindi ako nakapag-A, ay hindi ako pupunta sa party this weekend. Okay? So, hindi ako magjo-join sa party this weekend. So, you set your own reward and your own punishment. That's self-consequating. Now, the next one that we have here is environmental structuring, selecting or arranging her physical environment to make sure she achieves her goal. So, alam ni Sally na kung gagamit siya ng cellphone, for example, or she stays with her friends, she will chat non-stop. Okay? So mag-chat siya, gagamit siya ng cellphone, mag-Facebook siya, maaring yayain siya ng friends niya na mag-TikTok, no? Gumawa ng TikTok videos. And so, siya na mismo yung nagsa-structure ng kanyang environment. So what she does is, pupunta na lamang siya sa kanyang sariling kwarto, magkukulong para makapag-study siya. Or pupunta siya sa library. Doon siya magsa-study. So that's environmental structuring. And that was our choice, no? Ito yung choice natin yung sa example natin kay Stella.